In the last hour, the Senate averted a government shutdown, passing a stopgap funding measure through September. Two Democrats, Senators Angus King of Maine and Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire, joined all but one Republican, Kentucky's Rand Paul, in approving the measure. Earlier today, 10 Senate Democrats helped Republicans to advance the bill to final passage. The move came after Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer stunned progressive Democrats last night when he said he would vote to advance the funding measure. Schumer's decision triggered praise from Republicans and outrage from Democrats, including New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who was reportedly being privately urged by some of her colleagues to primary the senior senator from New York come 2028.
I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. And this is not just about progressive Democrats. This is across the board, the entire party.
Frankly, I do have a very difficult time finding why any Democratic colleague of mine would vote yes on this. I think that in this moment, we have to stand up and fight.
Congress has a job to do. We swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, not to surrender Article 1 constitutional powers to the executive.
Joining me now, NBC News senior national political reporter Sahil Kapoor and pollster and MSNBC political analyst Cornell Belcher. Sahil, help me understand how Democratic leadership in the Senate and in the House ended up in such different positions.
Well, they were certainly very divided in the last 24 hours, Alicia. There was not a coordinated strategy coming into this, which is why they were left in such a bad position. They did not, for one, anticipate Speaker Johnson being able to pass this through the House. And once he did, Democrats turned into a bit of a discombobulated mess, if I'm being candid, about the way this happened. There was initially silence on Tuesday once the bill passed the House, even though most Democrats unified to vote against it. Senator Chuck Schumer, the minority leader, did not take a position on it. The following day, after a lengthy and intense Democratic caucus meeting, he threatened to filibuster the bill, said there were not the votes on the Democratic side. And then about 24 hours later, he retreated from that, saying he was going to vote to advance the bill. I'm told in that interim 24 hours, he did not get any promises from Republican leadership. So this was not Schumer cutting a deal to keep, to let this bill pass. This was Schumer looking at his hands, deciding he didn't have the cards, and choosing to fold. He believed that a government shutdown would be a worse option than even this bill, that it would accelerate President Trump and Elon Musk's attempts to dismantle the federal government, that it would be OMB Director Russ Vought who gets to decide who's an essential employee and furlough all the non-essential employees that they don't want to be working, and the path to reopening the government, in Schumer's view, was simply not really there. He said there was no exit ramp. Having said that, the one thing Democrats really worry about, in addition to all the policy measures in this bill that they oppose, is that Democrats just taught Republicans they can write party-line government funding bills while cutting Democrats out of the process entirely. And Democrats, once it comes to the Senate, will fold, will cave and let it clear the filibuster. This was their one real piece of leverage, the 60-vote threshold. In this instance, they decided not to use it. Will they use it again in the future?
There was something Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said, Cornell, which is the sense of outrage and betrayal, not being simply on the part of progressive Democrats, but being held by a broader cross-section of the base.
Yeah. Well, one, I'm happy to be in studio with you.
Thank you.
I've been taking incoming calls and texts from friends all across the country.
Not as many as members of Congress, my friend.
And I got to tell you, there is a sense of outrage and disappointment. And many of them were wondering, really, there was no plan, like there was no coordination. And look, I think people should read Senator Schumer's op-ed he did in the New York Times, where he talked about, the lesser of the two evils, and him taking this vote was the lesser of two evils, which is a process argument. And in politics, if you're making a process argument, you're probably losing the argument. You're certainly losing the messaging, and I think they are losing the messaging. This was an opportunity for Democrats to show some fight for something we've been hearing, ever since the election, actually even before the election, especially with our younger voters, is what's the difference between Democrats and Republicans? They've got to show us some fight. They got to show us that they stand for something and will fight for something. I think this was an opportunity missed on that part. But at the same time, I do understand from a practical legislative positioning, after reading Schumer's op-ed, I do understand his argument about this is the lesser of the two evils.
I mean, just to be clear, Sahil, did Schumer get anything from Republicans in exchange for those Dem votes?
He did not. According to a source with knowledge of these negotiations, Schumer was not promised anything from Republicans in exchange for that the difference between his threat to filibuster it on Wednesday and his decision on Thursday to move forward with it, which he, of course, got 9 Democrats in a crucial 60-vote threshold to clear that hurdle. So, no, he didn't get anything for it. There were also 4 amendments that were negotiated as part of a time agreement today. One was Rand Paul's amendment to cut foreign aid. That failed. There were 3 Democratic amendments. All 3 of those failed. So it's not like Democrats walked away with anything on this. They eventually passed the House bill unamended. Remember, this was a bill that Speaker Mike Johnson wrote with input from the White House, and he cut a deal with his conservative hardliners. So that's why you see this bizarre situation where Chuck Schumer is getting praised by Donald Trump, slammed by not only Democrats like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but former Speaker Nancy Pelosi put out a statement earlier today pleading with Senate Democrats to vote this bill down, essentially defy Chuck Schumer, which I've never seen before.